Hello everybody, this is Tetrafolium back to explain my preparation for Game 2 of the Turn 17 Rocks Draft League. To get us started, let's look at our opponent's team. This time I'll be facing the Identity Thieves of Heart, who has a slew of dangerous special attackers in Zoroark, Espeon, Mismagius, Appleton, Oricorio, and potentially Iron Valiant and Toxicroak depending on whether he wants to run physical, special, or mixed sets for those. For this reason, I've decided to build my team around high special defense and safe switching through my best special wall, Agent Peepers. Peepers should be able to handle all the special attackers except for maybe Zoroark and Toxicroak, but full special defense Agency Pyramid should help me out against those two, thanks to my Choppleberry covering for the fighting type moves. Assault Vest Thigh Highs, Specially Defensive Stinker, and high HP Mothman should provide additional support in case I need it. Finally, Oricorio presents me an alternative Quiver Dance Sweeper to apply some offensive pressure. Now let me go into the EV spreads that I chose. First I'll start with the speed because this is where I always go when I build these types of spreads. For Mothman and Showgirl, they both hit 275 speed, which is enough that +2 will outspeed a +1 Iron Valiant. I'm not sure what Iron Valiant set he's going to run. It could be the mixed with booster energy, or it could be choice specs. Those are the two that I'm the most afraid of, so this gives me some options against that. Though, if he is the mixed set with the booster energy, my Agent Peepers, I'm going to try to use the nicknames. Should be able to cover pretty decently. Shadow Ball shouldn't do much. Next we have, well, Agent Peepers with 208 speed EVs. This makes me hit 310, which outspeeds a modest Mismagius. The thought process there is that if he's modest, then I'll be able to get my wishes and my dazzling gleams off faster. And when I see the damage, I'll know. And then I can switch into Agency Pyramid or Thigh Highs to help me deal with that, or potentially Stinker as well. Kind of not as important as maybe some extra special defense or HP, but I don't know, I kind of just wanted to have some more speed. And finally, we have Stinker, who has just enough speed to outspeed an uninvested Oricorio. Notably, that also outspeeds an uninvested Toxicroak. Just in case he brings those. Next, I'll talk about the attack stats. I only put attack on 2 of my Pokemon, and I'm not going to count the 4 attack that I put on Agency Pyramid. For Thigh Highs, we have 88 and Adamant Nature. This gives me just enough to guarantee an OHKO on uninvested Espeon, and it'll also OHKO a Rindoberry Quag if it's specially defensive. I don't know if he'll go for Rindoberry or if he'll even bother staying in, because Thigh Highs does hit a lot of attack, but you know, just in case he tries something different, I'll punish him for it. And Stinker is running just enough attack, coincidentally, also 88 and Adamant, to get an OHKO with Sucker Punch on an uninvested Zoroark, and an OHKO on Valiant with Gunk Shot. Now, I know that technically he could run like defensive investment on Zoroark or Valiant or Espeon to try to avoid getting OHKO'd, but for one, he's not going to probably guess that I'm running such an oddly specific number of EVs into my attacks. So he'll probably be calcing against if I maxed it out, uh, or at least that's what I would do, and adjust his defense accordingly. But if he's also if he's running a lot of defensive investment on those Pokemon, then it just makes my Screamtail much harder to beat. Um, because the less damage that they're doing, the more that my Screamtail just comes in and eats up the leftovers, eats up with Wish, and gets chipped with Dazzling Gleam. And as for the defenses, I just tried to do everything that I could to maximize my HP, but also minimize the damage that I take from special attacks. So what I do is I go into the calc and I start by maxing out my special defense on each of the Pokemon, and then I adjust back and forth with the HP and special defense until I find the combinations that give me the lowest damage taken by special attacks, and then I choose the configuration that gives me the most HP. There's a little bit of math involved, maybe, if you want to understand the optimization, but that's kind of just how I do it. I could maybe do a video sometime later that gets more into the weeds, but not that necessary right now. In any case, I think I'm gonna have a pretty decent matchup here. Screamtail super duper walls his whole team, and I apply a lot of pressure with Salt Cure, force a lot of switches, um, which is great because I'm planning on getting my Toxic Spikes up with Stinker. And as you might have noticed, Oricorio is the only hazard removal that he has on his team. And I'm not one to hate on Oricorio, as you can clearly see, but it's not a great Pokemon for longevity. So if I can bait that out and kill it, I will have a very easy time keeping my hazards up. He could also bring Toxicroak to absorb the Toxic Spikes. And if he does, I'll just have to maybe play around it. That's just the best advice I can give myself. And if he has Espeon as well, I'll need to be careful. But the good thing about Stinker is that it has a really strong crunch that will threaten an Oko on an uninvested Sylveon. Excuse me, Espeon. Might kill a Sylveon too. But yeah. One thing I guess I might mention, because I neglected to mention it the last time, on every Pokemon that's not my Terra Captain, I'm putting the Terra type as normal. If you're watching this and you're like, why do you have Terra normal on Agency Pyramid? That's such a stupid Terra type. Yeah, I agree, but per the rules of the league, I'm not allowed to Terra anything other than my Volcarona right now. So I just switch all the Terra types to normal so that I'm not tempted to Terra, like forgetting that there's a rule against it. Yeah, it's just really to help me out. But with all of that preparation out of the way, I guess we can get right into the battle as soon as I get that done. Alright, let's get into this battle. I'm gonna apologize in advance. This battle took quite a few turns. Thankfully, I know when we can start kind of speeding through. But in any case, I hope it's enjoyable. Let's start with the matchup here. He didn't bring Toxicroak, so once I get the Toxic Spikes down, he has nothing to absorb them. He also didn't bring Oricorio, so he can't blow them away. And he also didn't bring Espeon, so I don't have to worry about him bouncing them back. Uh, so yeah, in fact, out of 3 Pokemon that he could have brought to mitigate toxic spikes, he brought none of them. So immediately I see, well, once I get toxic spikes up, it's kind of tough for him. Um, I think I'm probably would lead uh, Skunk Tank, and I think that's probably what I did do. Um, yeah, that's right. He leads Quagsire though, and I don't want to get Earthquaked, so I just switch right out to Thigh Highs. He could have Toxic, and that would be really bad for Thigh Highs, but I don't think he's going to go for Toxic turn 1 against Skunk Tank. He's obviously not going to stay in. If I Power Whip, then he's super dead, so I would just go ahead and get rid of the hazards with Rapid Spin. He goes to Appleton. Nice Grass Dragon type, except I've got Play Rough, which does over 50%. I brought Play Rough primarily for Iron Valiant, but it's nice against Appleton as well. So, yeah, I just go for that. I go for it again and miss. He's an interesting set here. He's got Rest, Sleep Talk, Leech Seed. I don't know if that's a great set. It definitely gets walled really hard by my my Thigh Highs. If I can spoil his last move, it's Grav Apple. So like, yeah, or Apple Acid. That's the move. Yeah. So yeah, he doesn't hit Thigh Highs at all. Then he goes to Klefki. I don't hit Klefki at all with my set. My last move, of course, is U-turn. So don't really, and well, Power Whip, so I don't hit him at all. I go to Stinker, who eats up the Thunder Wave. It's perfect. He starts setting up screens. I don't know what he's gonna do with the screens. It makes me think he might have Calm Mind Valiant or like Nasty Plot Zoroark if he's setting up the screens. So I decide that I want to get 2 layers of Toxic Spikes down so I can put them on a timer. He goes to Knuckle Stack, which is fine. I crunched because I just assumed that the Klefki wasn't going to do anything else. Like if it play roughs, okay. At least I'll get to see that last move. If it doesn't have play rough, well then it doesn't have a move to hit Skunk Tank, or Stinker, I should say. So yeah, he goes to Knuckle Stack though. I don't want to get Salt Cured, so I switch out to Peepers, who has leftovers to kind of mitigate the Salt Cure damage. He starts setting up Iron defenses, which tells me he's the Iron Press set. I Encore him so that I can go out into anything else or rather, sorry, so I can get some Dazzling Gleams off. If he decided to be stubborn and stay in, since Peepers is faster, I can always just reset the Encore and he'll never be able to attack. So yeah, he was forced to switch. Goes to Quag and it gets Toxic. That's perfect. I need this thing to get worn down so I can sweep with my Volcarona. Although I do have Giga Drain on Volcarona, so maybe it's not that important. I U-turn here, go right into Volcarona, and I figure, well, it's at 14% I can kill, but Thick Fat is really, really crazy. He rests again. I don't want to mess around. I don't really have anything to hit it, so I'm gonna go straight to Stinker. He rolls Leech Seed, which is unfortunate, but I hit Gunk Shot, which is not unfortunate. Maybe I should have calced to have enough for Gunk Shot to kill Appleton, but it's not really that big a deal. I can just kill with Crunch here. He's gonna go to Valiant, and I saw he's Booster Energy, so that kind of it didn't mean that he wasn't for sure Calm Mind, but you know, I sort of thought, okay, this is probably the mixed set. Um, I could have went to Screamtail, but I wanted Screamtail to be healthy, so I'm gonna go to pivot to Thigh Highs, so I can get a U-turn to get a safer switch into Screamtail. Because I don't know if this Valiant has Shadow Ball, maybe to try to hit Screamtail, which is not it doesn't do much, but if it gets the Def drops, then that's gonna get awkward for me. Um, Additionally, well, maybe I'll bring this up later towards the end of the battle. Yes, Shadow Ball does absolutely nothing thanks to my Assault Vest. Moonblast does a little bit more than nothing, but I'm gonna just kind of stall on the Iron Valiant, let the Toxic tick up. I could have clicked what's it called? Dazzling Gleam there and probably killed the Valiant, but yeah, Toxic is kind of just gonna take care of it, and you know, if I get to keep health, that's great. He goes to Quag and then does a hard double to Knack Stack. I don't know what exactly he thought I was gonna go out to. Maybe he wasn't predicting me to go to the pyramid. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I did go to pyramid because I wanted to eat the toxic. Of course, purifying salt means I won't get statused, and then if I can get a salt cure on the Quag, then it's gonna take tons of chip every turn. But instead he goes Knuckle Stack, so we're gonna trade salt cures here, like father, like son. We'll go back to Peepers. Now that he's Iron Defense, I can Encore. And I'm not gonna predict any switch because I just don't really need to. I'm gonna stall the Quagsire. I don't want to get toxic, so I go straight to Thigh Highs. Now I'm threatening a Power Whip. He stays in, calling my bluff and setting up some spikes. Pretty good call out by him, but I call him out for his Earthquake. I get a Hurricane off just for damage. I didn't know what he was going to do, per se. He just recovers, which is kind of a throw. Probably his best play would have been to get more spikes or to Toxic. Because he's already taking so much from Toxic that if he recovers on that turn, he's going to have to recover again, and then the next turn he just has nothing. So, yeah, I don't think Recover's the play there. I just Quiver Dance as he's going to die to Toxic. That's going to force Knuckle Stack in, is what I thought. And if he goes to Knuckle Stack, then I can just go to the Pyramid and get a Salt Cure off, and then keep Knuckle Stack on a timer. But he goes to a Knuckle Stack that gets poisoned, so I know that this is Zoroark for sure. Otherwise, he would not have been poisoned. I guess it's possible that he wasn't running Purifying Salt on Knuckle Stack, but nah, absolutely no way. So I'm just going to go ahead and Hurricane it. I know I live very easily because of my +1 defense, and it's just going to die to the poison. So, in fact, that was a Gunk Shot kill, or excuse me, a Crunch kill on Appleton. That was, I believe, Poison killed the Quagsire, Poison killed the Iron Valiant, and Poison killed the Zoroark. So that's actually counts as 4 kills for Stinker this game. So he's putting the team on his back. He's got Jimmy Butler numbers, or well, we'll see how Game 7 goes tonight before I say anything about Jimmy Butler numbers. He's gonna set up screens. I Quiver Dance again. This is gonna force Knuckle Stack to come in, and I do like absolutely nothing. So I'm just gonna switch back out to the Pyramid. Uh, if I get Assault Cure on this or Clef Key, um, then he's totally on a timer. But also, at some point, I'm gonna get the rocks up so that he can't just keep switching between. He starts setting up, and if he gets to like +4 and or body presses, that could actually be pretty bad for my Garg. So I switch. I'm gonna switch back. Uh, he forgets about Purifying Salt, I think, is what happened there. Which is definitely a throw. Like, you have Knuckle Stack, which also has Purifying Salt. What? Um, I get the Salt Cure off, and then I get the rocks up, and then this game is basically over. We can just go fast through the turns here. Salt Cure is just going to eat away at the Knuckle Stack. When the Clef Key comes back in, if I can get a Salt Cure on that, he'll basically be done. I'm just basically waiting for him to Iron Defense. Once he Iron Defenses, I'm gonna guess that he's gonna not Salt Cure. Which lets me bring Screamtail in. I just Dazzling Gleam because I figured he was gonna switch. So I just want to get the chip on Clef Key. Every bit of damage I get on Clef Key is unrecoverable for him because he doesn't have Draining Kiss, or at least I didn't think he would. He just Thunder Waves, which is unfortunate, I guess, but it's not the worst. He gets third layer spikes up, gets the screens up. I'm just gonna kill this Clef Key because once this Clef Key is dead, all I have to do is Salt Cure the Knuckle Stack, and then it's just nothing he can do. The Clef Key is gonna die to rocks because it's so low. So basically, I just have to find a way to 1v1 the Knuckle Stack. He sacks Clef Key there, which is He was kind of in a bad spot as it was. When he body presses, I encore him here because I see a win with Volcarona, so I'm gonna take it. I Terra so that I won't take as much from Salt Cure. It actually does not do that much, as you'll see right here. Yeah, 18. If you double that, that's 36. So it's even though it's ×4 weak, I'm not gonna take much from it. And once I get to +2, I know that Giga Drain is a 2-hit KO, so I'm just gonna take it right there. And then on turn 74, we're done. And I get a nice 6-0. So actually, with this 6-0 and my nice little Hawaiian 5-0 on the previous game, we have yet to give up a KO, which is I'd say pretty phenomenal. We're going up against, I believe, Goldengo's Pokemon team for the next game. And Goldengo's Pokemon team has not gotten a win yet either. And they're one of the lower kills on the leaderboard. So let's see if we can get the no KOs given up streak going. That would be really funny if I could do that. In any case, do I have any advice for my opponent here for his team? Because, well, clearly it didn't work out for him. Yeah, I think that the Appleton set sucked, personally. Especially when you know that your opponent has Serena. You literally can't touch the Serena, and the Serena can do a lot of work against you. I didn't happen to have like any sort of setup on him, but like I could get free setup with Serena. I could, like you saw, get tons of damage with Play Rough. I don't have triple axle, so you didn't really have to worry about that. But yeah, I plus I don't know. I don't even know if Appleton matches up well into my team. Oricorio and excuse me, Showgirl and Stinker. I will get these nicknames in my mind. Uh, they just absolutely body it. So yeah, I wouldn't have brought it. I would have brought Toxicroak maybe. I would have or Espeon or even your own Oricorio because hazard stacking is so bad for your team because everything is grounded. Uh, I didn't even bring Whiscash, but if I brought Whiscash and stacked 3 layers of spikes, every switch would have been super detrimental to him. Um, the Iron Valiant, he went for the mixed set, and I think that that's generally fine. But if you look at my team, everything on my team is naturally pretty slow. Like Iron Valiant is not even, you don't even need full speed to just naturally outspeed the fastest Pokemon on my team, which is, I believe, Mothman. Uh, so maybe if you were gonna go for a booster energy set, you could have went for booster special attack or booster attack. Um, that would have put a lot of pressure on, say, my Screamtail. Additionally, if you had like a Calm Mind boosting set, that could have been super scary for me. I don't have anything like Haze or Unaware to stop boosters, so like strong boosting Pokemon are just really scary for me. In the right hands, like some of these top level boosters like Baxcalibur, Iron Valiant, perhaps Goldango, perhaps if somebody wanted to take Iron Moth off the board, uh, yeah, all those things could be really spooky for me. Um, and yeah, you just didn't have any setup for Iron Valiant. Uh, I don't know what the Zoroark set was because it died so fast, but uh, a nasty plot Zoroark could have been scary. Um, yeah. Also, I think my opponent didn't play quite the best. Like I don't know why he didn't just go hard knuckle stack against my Showgirl. Like obviously I'm not gonna be fooled by the illusion knuckle stack. And being +1, I'm not gonna take any damage from it. Uh, yeah, overall, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that satisfied with the game because it just wasn't really that challenging. No offense to Chalk Flame, the captain of the Identity Thieves, but it was kind of light work. Uh, I just cooked his ass. I'm saying all this because I know he's not gonna watch this video, and whoever does is gonna think that it's hilarious that I'm flaming him right now. Um, but yeah, I've got nice 2-0, pretty dominant. I'm like the Shaquille O'Neal of this league, and nobody's gonna stop me.